When they named the title of this movie The Batman, they sure as hell meant it and was not playing around. Let's go. So first off, let's give credit to the director because this movie is visually stunning. Matt Reeves directed classic movies such as Cloverfield, Dawn of the Planet of the Apes, and War of the Planet of the Apes. His decision to portray the Batman and Bruce Wayne in this movie were definitely interesting and some may say a game changer. The story follows the Batman played by Robert Pattinson as he works with Selina Kyle, aka Catwoman, played by Zoe Kravitz, and Lieutenant James Gordon, played by Jeffrey Wright, to solve these mystery murders by a serial killer who goes by the Riddler. There's several Gotham villains in this movie, but the Riddler is the main antagonist, and the guy lives by the name. Throughout this movie, he leaves multiple riddles specifically directed towards the Batman, forcing him to investigate crimes, allowing the audience to see how much of a great detective he truly is. You'll notice right away that the setting for this movie is not flashy, it's not fancy, it's grimy and it's gritty. It's mostly set at nighttime, which gives such a dark tone. There's times where I thought I was watching a suspenseful thriller movie. You know the scenes where someone's walking slowly through a dark house, or that feeling where you feel like someone's watching you? The director made some decisions to make the scenes play out really slow so that the audience can't anticipate what was going to happen next. And for me, it definitely gave me anxiety at times. The great musical score and sound design also contribute to the suspense. I mean, you could literally hear Batman's boots as he's walking slowly towards his enemies. This movie shows our beloved Bruce Wayne in his most vulnerable state ever shown on the big screen. The main theme of the story is all about vengeance. The Batman is so consumed by his new purpose in life to fighting crime and corruption that even when he's out of costume as Bruce Wayne, he comes off so serious and depressed in public. He's still kind of new to the job and only have been Batman for 2 years, and it definitely shows in his tech and gear. It's still very impressive, just not as flashy as the Dark Knight trilogy. And so many people are comparing this movie to the Dark Knight trilogy and which one was better, but I'm not going to get into that too much in this review. But you could tell by his suit in this movie that it's something that he put together and that he keeps adding on to. It's definitely not a perfect Batman suit in my opinion, but it has so much potential to build off of. Even from the Batcave and the Batmobile, they're so natural and realistic, like something that could exist in our real world. I really appreciate how authentic the costume and set designs were. Speaking of authenticity, Robert Pattinson did an excellent job as playing the Batman. He was truly terrifying, especially in his opening scene. He was ruthless in his fighting choreography. It was probably some of the best fight scenes I've ever seen in a Batman movie. The style was so quick and aggressive. But as much as I loved him wearing the suit, at times I wasn't sure how I felt about him portraying Bruce Wayne. I'm used to seeing Bruce Wayne similar to Tony Stark being outside of Iron Man. You know, the playboy billionaire, fancy cars, women, confidence. But in this movie, it's the complete opposite of that. He's dealing with so much as being the Batman that it consumes his whole life and existence pretty much. He legit is the Batman, and this is a Batman movie. Don't be like me and expecting a balance of both in this movie because he's pretty much Batman 80% of the time, which is awesome and what fans love to see. True fans know how great of a detective that Batman is, and that's exactly what you're getting in this movie. I'm just saying, it almost reminded me of an episode of freaking First 48 with how many crime scenes they were breaking down. Also the classic movie Seven with Brad Pitt and Morgan Freeman, which I highly recommend checking out. It was definitely interesting seeing one thing lead to another and then putting all the pieces together that the Riddler laid out for them. I'm still not fully set if I'm happy with who they casted as the Riddler, but still a great job done nonetheless. Even his costume came out very simple and original, like he put together himself. We get an excellent backstory of him to truly understand why he's doing what he's doing. And we also learn so much about the other characters that I never knew before. I enjoy Jeffrey Wright as the lieutenant who remains friends with Batman throughout their detective partnership. He always has his calm yet confident demeanor about him. And I'm definitely a fan of Zoe Kravitz playing Selina Kyle and Catwoman. Her swagger and confidence just perfect for the role. There was this whole side story with her and her best friend, and I just wasn't fully connected to it. At times I really didn't care too much about it, but I understand why it was necessary because it led to all these new unresolved conflicts. I also support the chemistry between her and Robert Pattinson. You could just tell right away if actors have chemistry on screen by the way that they look at each other without saying a word. And I'm excited to see where they take their relationship. But on that note about chemistry, I might be one of the only people that is not fully set on this chemistry between the Riddler and the Batman. Christian Bale and Heath Ledger just set the bar so high in The Dark Knight that I don't know if anyone could surpass that unless I'm hoping that maybe the Joker as Joaquin Phoenix comes back. That would be amazing. Besides the Riddler, I definitely love the engagement between the Batman and the Penguin. The Penguin villain was played by actor Colin Farrell, and it's crazy how much prosthetics they put on him to make him look unrecognizable. Hope to definitely see more of him in this role. But speaking of these two guys, they probably had one of the best car chase scenes that I've ever watched in a movie before. From the sound design to the camera angles, this whole sequence was a masterpiece. Some of the best action I've ever witnessed. Truly unbelievable how they captured that. This, along with some of the Batman fight scenes, had to be some of my favorite parts in the movie. But honestly, I like doing YouTube reviews because I'm a fan of reviews myself. That's how I got started, by watching other people's reviews. But it seems like everybody's already praising this movie as a 10 out of 10, which is completely acceptable and understanding. But this is where my review would differ from everybody else. But keep in mind, this is just my opinion from my personal experience. Now, when I left the theater, did I think it was trash? No. Did I think it was hype? Not really. As much as I enjoyed all the great things that I just mentioned, including the storyline, I just felt like this movie was way too long. I think I was fine at the beginning of the third act. Maybe it was around the 2.5 hour mark. But it just felt like the dialogue was dragging on and it was just going too slow. And I know this sounds crazy as hell, but I just kind of started to lose interest by the end of the movie when everything was starting to unfold. I still think the ending was dope, but I just feel certain scene selections or even some of the story material could have been cut out. But looking back on it, this could be my own personal experience in the theater that day. And I also did not check the damn runtime prior to the movie. That's my bad. I should have checked it. I just know I sat my ass down at 8 p.m. on Thursday and I got up at exactly 11 p.m. But I was starting to check out by 10:30. I mean, I was actually checking my phone, and that's rare. I never do that. It got to the point where Catwoman was like, "You should go." And in my mind, I'm like, "What you think I'm trying to do?" I mean, I got this random lady sitting next to me. She brought a blanket to the theater. Her blanket's touching me. I had to pick it up. And like, lady, get your blanket off of me. Like, who the hell brings a blanket to the theater? And then I thought about it. I'm like, you know what? She right. By the end of the movie, I was like, she's done her research. She knew this was going to be a long-ass movie. She got comfortable. She brought the blanket. She even brought a neck pillow. I'm like, what, we going on a 10-hour flight? Like, my tired ass just got off work, and I'm already thinking about work the next day. Like, I got work in the morning. We need to wrap this up. Let's go. Let's go. And then you got this random dude, 2 rows down, cough super loud, did not cover his mouth, no face mask. I know it because I saw it. And now I'm like,
oh, shit. Here we go again.
But yeah, other than that, the cinematography was perfect. But seriously, let me stop playing around. This movie, I think I need to watch it a few more times to truly, really understand and appreciate it much more. I think this new Batman has absolute potential to be a legendary franchise. So to wrap things up, I'm not a serious critic like some of these other reviewers. I'm just a dude who loves movies and wants to enjoy them. I'm not such a fan of the detective crime drama in shows or movies, but I am a fan of Batman. But when I say Batman, that also includes Bruce Wayne, in my opinion. And although this version of Bruce Wayne is definitely necessary because it's never been done before, I just miss that balance between the two characters, which I think will be more revealed if there's a sequel. Many parts I've loved, but there were at times this movie felt dragged. And this could have been due to my personal theater experience that I just ranted about, which I'm sure we've all been there before. But no matter what, I look forward to most definitely watching this movie again. Not quite hyped for me, but no doubt, good vibes indeed.
The hell are you supposed to be?
I'm vengeance. Let's go.
If you enjoyed this video, make sure you hit that like button. And if you want to see more, just subscribe. If you want notifications for new uploads, hit that bell icon. Also, if you could share this video with your family and friends, I would greatly appreciate it. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace.